Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's weekend show. This is our Broiler Chicken Show. Buck, buck, buck. Welcome, everybody. It's about 5 minutes past the top of the hour here on the West Coast. Let's see, do we have this thing working? Welcome, everybody. Yeah, looks like it's about 5 minutes past. Our level oneers just finished their Q&A session with the Griminator, the Wookiee. Thought they did a fantastic job winding up the term. And those people that really put the time and effort in, you can really see them starting to blossom. So way to go, everybody. Get ready for final exams. Do see, usually I like to do a little Q&A. Sort of follow up whatever the current week's topic is, and since this is a review week, not too heavy on the question side. Some fun stuff going on in the crypto space. Got a big fundamental event coming down the pike here. Does anybody have a link to the actual 2.0 launch date? It would be handy to show that. I think actually I even asked in the daily brief on Friday, or maybe even last weekend's. If somebody happens to have a news link or something attesting to the ETH event, I'd appreciate it. All you guys hanging out in the lounge here. There's about 15, 20 people in the hangout here with me. YouTubers, great to see that page is rocking along. Thank you so much, all the people that get value out of this free feed that we do on YouTube. I think we should always start off with these free content that we do for YouTube. Definitely consider this edutainment. Take the value of the information disseminated here today for exactly the price that you paid for it. Obviously, nothing's guaranteed. And also, too, I'm not the type of guy to tell you what to buy and what to sell. I'll tell you what I'm doing with my money. There certainly are no guarantees in this business of trading. If anything, what I've learned over the 20, 30 years doing this game is if you can identify a trend and get yourself positioned in that trend, then rock on, man. Just keep milking that thing. When you get into trading ranges and sideways markets, it can get pretty choppy. And you might find that setups that are just kicking ass in trending market states, they don't work very well in ranging market states, and then vice versa. You get really comfortable in acceptance of a range, and then the market starts trending and all your ranging models start falling apart. It is a function of the market. I think it's important to try and remember that markets like to range about 70 to 80% of the time, and they only like to trend really 20, maybe 30%, but probably more like 20 is somewhere in there. In the cryptocurrency space, I think we had a really great example of that. And going to try and limit my conversation to just these chart decks here. Over the past, I would even say just over the past week or so trading session, where if on the Ethereum, for example, this window of this ranging market state that lasted pretty darn long time, 49 bars. So by definition, then we should expect this, if this is kind of ranging market state time frame, say roughly 50 bars. If we try and think of, like ratios and stuff, then that probably means that we like trend for like maybe, 10, maybe 20 bars, something along those lines. That'd be 65, which, yeah, that'd be about 20-25%, somewhere in there. If we go all the way out to 30, then maybe we're thinking something like that. So, it's been one hell of a wild trending market state over the past, like I said, I guess this is about 2 weeks. If anything, I think also, too, this is a fantastic analogy of, as a trader, you sort of have to take positions. And you have to have confidence in the positions. But just because you take positions, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be right. In fact, quite often what ends up happening is the market politely tells you, I'm sorry, your thesis was wrong. And, as a trader, it's not like you're not paid to get any sort of ego boost or ego knockdown by being right or wrong. It doesn't turn into money. So as a result, but at the same time too, you have to have the, what do they call it, the confidence of your convictions. So it turns out in this crazy game, you have to have what they call strong opinions, loosely held. And I might make the argument that, and I basically had, that I was getting market structural sort of failure signals. You can see the M's. I mean, they're as plain as day. At a certain point, the market just said, you know what, I'm done going down. I'm going to start now Wing. And in this particular case, as soon as we start breaking out through these highs, you have to have the wherewithal to just simply say, whoop, that bear thesis is clearly proven wrong. Hell, maybe I want to flip to the bull side. I'm not going to say it's easy. Certainly not going to say it's easy. Did I take this long trade in here? No. At the same time, too, interestingly enough, like in commentary, and that's the one great part about commentary is, hindsights are always 20/20, blah, blah, blah. I do think it makes sense that this is a pretty big fundamental event, what I see happening here, for Ethereum itself. In a weird sort of way, what I kind of think is going on here, believe it or not, is actually extremely similar to, let's see if I can do this, to what happened in Bitcoin last cycle. I don't want to put this, let's just get rid of that. And I think I put a tweet out to this effect. All through this period, anyway, look at Ethereum sort of similarly. I mean, you can really see the similarities in the chart pattern here. And I do remember that through this event, what was really interesting about this was, and I think Phoenix, it was even more pronounced. I can't remember exactly, but I do remember there was a nice bottom that was coming in here, and then there was one more big sort of FU event right through here. Then the market bottomed and just took off like a rocket. And it was, it was a fascinating time to be in the space. And, I might argue that the bottom is sort of one of these types of periods where the market just dumps. And I remember this event, Mike Hearn, Rage Quit, all that kind of fun stuff. Sold off back to levels that just sort of like all the Bitcoin people were like jaw dropped. Oh, the dream is over. Interestingly enough, it was really just nothing more than just an 80-90% correction of the previous move. So cliche. Exactly what Ethereum did here. Exactly what Bitcoin just did. I mean, it's ridiculous how cliche this stuff is. But more importantly, through this period here, I distinctly remember it was just a lot of humming and hawing. And then the market just came alive, and this was the second Silk Road auction of seized bitcoins, and I remember that this changed the tone. Because all through this period, it was just all down, 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 negative, 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 whatever. I mean, there were fun anecdotes all through this. China ban, Tim Draper's first auction buy. Oh, that wasn't very well timed. Blah, blah, blah. Interestingly enough, I don't even know if a lot of people in the public remember, but Microsoft actually got officially involved in Bitcoin right in here. So it just goes to show that Microsoft basically got in at the bottom. They started building all their crypto exchanges and stuff. So, if anybody ever tells you that Microsoft's not in Bitcoin, I distinctly remember right through here. Microsoft came in hard right through here. So it's interesting ultimately how that turned out to be the bottom. But what I think is more important, and really for like Joe's six-packing kind of stuff, what I really think the big message is look how long this took. This took almost a full year to turn the corners. All right, take it easy, Colleen. We'll miss you dearly. And the tell, and I've talked to, I've talked about this in the space before, but the tell to me was after the big face rip, the market slammed down into support, which was basically just a Wyckoff check, right? You can kind of think of this sloppy, and it might be hard for you to see, but you can kind of think of this as a big W. So this now, remember, that's where Microsoft first got in. This is where they put the bottom in, and this is the most important event to me right there. So that really the bottom is in when 61.8, good old Mountain Man, and through this event the market put up a hell of a fight and said, nope, I'm a bull, I want to head back up to the top end of the range. Then we started playing the range game. Remember I said trending, ranging. So we started playing the range game all in here. So, the subsequent move, of course, speaks for itself, right? So that's the subsequent move. Believe it or not, in the next cycle, I don't really see that as unrealistic for Ethereum. And the way that I hear, the way that they're setting this thing up, man, the next cycle that comes along here, this is going to be insane. So anyway, strap on, have fun. For whatever it's worth, I've got our Silver Bullet Simple FX monster over there just accumulating Ethereums. So, everybody wish Julian luck on his fun adventure. Hope he comes out the other side with a good stack of Ethereums. That would be a nice treat. But only time will tell. In fact, actually, he had put a hedge on, but I'll let him talk about it. Maybe he'll do some videos down the road. We should, if anything, put in the comments field, yeah, we want a Sunday 5-minute Julian summary of what the hell he's doing. And I'll show him all the people that want to see Julian's 5-minute summary report. Maybe that'll get him to do it. Who knows? But back to our story here. If we sort of think about this, and actually I kind of like this thinking, because in a weird sort of way, like I remember going through all this, like this is where I sort of first was introduced to Bitcoin. And it was sort of like this was really, I mean, there was the Silk Road event, and then ultimately the auction, I guess the trial, and the reversal off of that, which sort of marked that, oh my God, here we go. And in a weird sort of way, with Ethereum, I think you can make a lot of similarities to sort of this kind of price action with this. And it's interesting, after the blow off top, all we had to do is come back down to the bottom, and you can see all they did here was just bring price back down into this original bottom. So I find it fascinating that sort of Ethereum is getting ready for sort of its next iteration. And when we sort of, I asked people this in the past, in the stock market, of course, we see this all the time. But what's the typical duration of a bear market? I mean, how long does a bear usually last? which ironically enough actually means that this current market's getting a little bit stale. I mean, we're actually overdue for a nice big fat bull here, believe it or not. So usually the rule of thumb is bear markets last about 18 months, about a year and a half. Yeah, they can drag on for a couple years, which is what I kind of think's going on right now. But typical bear is usually about 18 months. So, interestingly enough, this was almost perfectly on cue. And the breakout that sort of says, look at the bear is over, was that Silk Road auction event. And, obviously, the power of hindsight's 2020. You can see the other side of it. What does the bull actually look like? And the bull, they often say bull markets can go much, much further, for much longer than anybody ever expects. And I think that's an excellent testament. I remember there was one guy in this space through this event that called a top around 2 G's or something like that. And he spent the whole goddamn bull market just cursing Bitcoin every single day. It's all a scam. It's all a scam. It's all a scam. Then there was a lot of people in the space that conjectured that maybe this person was actually put up to do all of this to try and distract the crypto community. Well, conspiracy theories out the butt, eh? Anyway, point of the matter here is, believe it or not, I know it sounds crazy, and especially in this crazy money printing world, what the hell's the value of money? I mean, literally the central bankers just went and cut the purchasing power of the currency in half. Could they do it again? Sure, why not? So then that means that from the original standpoint, the currency now is worth a quarter of what it was worth. So does that mean that a Bitcoin peak 20,000, Bitcoin peak 80,000 next cycle, and nothing changes? Everything's exactly the same? Yeah, that's actually very real. It sucks living in this world, because the world that I grew up in, it was all like sort of, Keynesian economics versus Austrian economics. And the principle of Keynesian economics was that in bad times, governments step up and support economies, which is a good idea. But then in good times, you got to tighten the belt and pay down the debt, make sure the government's in good position to be able to support the economy the next cycle. But no, in this democratically elected world, we're always Keynesian. And what's worse, the thing that, what really is derailing this whole thing was when the economy was doing pretty well, I distinctly remember 2 or 3 massive tax cuts that were given to the rich in one country in particular, right as the economy is doing well. Well, when, if you're actually a Keynesian, that's actually when you're supposed to be raising taxes. And people like Warren Buffett say, well, it's not really fair that you cut the tax rate to the point where I pay a lower tax rate than my secretary. I mean, talk about writing on the walls. I mean, the worst part about all of this is it's staring us right in the face. Anybody who says you see what's happening with the social unrest and all that kind of crap that's going on right now, it's a function of what's happened with the rich just basically gutting our system. So you can't really blame this on Keynesian economics. This is just idiot economics. Whoever said that governments could just indefinitely spend more money than they bring in? Hello? You ever tried to do that with your local bank? How does that work with credit cards? Can you just keep taking more and more credit cards out and just keep racking up the debt? You know what ends up happening. I mean, that's the irony of all of this. It's everybody knows what the end is. It's just you know what it is, sadly. It's the old damn musical chairs. Who's going to get caught when the music stops? Oh, God, drives you crazy. Anyway, oh boy, there's a rant for you. Lots of downvotes. Rock and roll. Oh! But, the most important thing about that whole rant is that you can't say there were lots and lots and lots of tells along the way that got us to this point. It's just for some reason, only idiots like Brian jump up and down when this stuff happens and say, hey, you can't do that, you can't do that. But times are good and people go, oh, shut up, Brian. Hey, we're all doing great, no big deal. And then this is what we get on the other side. All right, back to Ethereum fun. Sorry. Wow, total. Was that a political rant? I don't think it was. That was an economics rant. I didn't say any one particular political party. I just was talking economics there. Just Econ 101. So anyway, back to the fun stuff. This is what I kind of think is happening right now with Ethereum. The interesting thing is, we often say you can't really judge whether a market is a bull or a bear until it resolves things like 38.2s. And you can actually see this ended up being a very wide trading range. And even the blast off that sort of stopped the bear, the blast off didn't really get through 38.2. And then, of course, this is the 2016 halvening, which basically I think set the base for away we go next bull, cost of production kind of conversations rising. So I would sort of expect something along these lines, and it does make sense on Ethereum because to me this smacks of buy the rumor. It's really straightforward. Yeah, let's see. I'm going to go look at YouTube. Let's see. Are they bitching at me? Hey, somebody says, hey, that was an awesome rant. Well, that's good. I'm sure there's going to be people that are going to be angry at me for injecting my opinion in all this. But anyway, thank you. Who's that? Uwal said that he liked that, and Jack says 100% awesome. Hey, look at that! I got a downvote already. Woohoo! I swear this the silly social media drives you nuts. Anyway, so to me, this totally smacks of buy the rumor. I'm concerned that, of course, once we have launched this, and did anybody find any sort of official link that that I can at least just put on the video here? No? Nobody? All right. Well, let's see. Hey, and maybe I'll show you how I go and research stuff. First off, I always ask myself, is this a Moby? If you don't know what a Moby is, then you got no business being in the crypto space. So I'll always start off every research project with, is this a Moby? Oh, look at that. Somebody's even like, what's a Moby? Oh, no. Oh, dude, if you don't know what a Moby is, then you got some homework to do, man. You really need our level 1 course. So, point of the matter here is anything and everything within an unregulated space you have to absolutely take with a grain of salt. You don't know whether it's true or a total bullshit. You have to accept that in this space. It's truth. The good part about things like the blockchain and Bitcoin in particular, and a lot of these sort of open source projects is, you can do your own due diligence. But Arch Coin was a fantastic analogy of altcoins. So do yourself a favor, if you don't know this story, do yourself a favor and research a little bit into Arch Coin. As well, do yourself a favor and look into Nautilus Coin. There's another great one. And what's terrible is the guy that actually shilled Nautilus Coin, and it was a total fraud, and it ended up just going off the board and dying. He has like a full-time job as a crypto analyst on CNBC. How the fuck does that work? Can we please have our money back on Nautilus? Thank you very much. No. This is an unregulated space. Fuck you. You better get used to it. If you want to play in this space, you better get used to that brutal reality. Anyway, party, fun. Remember, at one point I was a licensed financial advisor. Why I even went down this road is because of the crazy path, I guess, that the good Lord has decided for me to follow. But, in a previous life, and if I had stayed in that life, I'd be sitting behind a desk with a nice suit and tie on and charging clients, $500 an hour and expecting to make 200-300 G's, just simply running a book of financial planning. And when I would be sitting in front of one of them and they had a whack of bulletin board stocks or cryptocurrencies, I would say exactly the same thing. You're going to have to try and figure out what the hell value is here. And don't trust anybody in this space. Don't trust anybody. Sad, but, that's capitalism too, right? So I love the idea of listening to other people and hearing their perspectives. But at the end of the day, everything has to pass my own personal sort of what is an acceptable place to have my money working. And I would suggest you do the same too. I like, this is a site that Kevin, one of our OGs, found for me a while ago, and it's really fun to just do a little bit of surfing, just see what's going on in the crypto space's minds. I'll tell you, there about a week or so ago, man, everything was just like moon. I went on really good analogy of better be careful here, people. I went on, I like to, let's see, I don't know what's going to happen here. This might freak YouTube out. But I went on these pages here and watched the U.S. Federal Reserve commentary. And last, March, when the crisis was happening, of course, Bitcoin was collapsing with everything else. And went in their chat room, and people are like, buy gold or, Powell sucks, blah, 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 whatever. And I didn't see a single reference to Bitcoin. I went in and listened to Powell there on their free YouTube page there through that last thing, and every goddamn comment, buy ADA, buy Ethereum, buy Bitcoin, fiat sucks, blah, 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 crypto's the future, blah, blah, blah. That's got to be a bad sign unto itself, guys. Just be aware of that, right? The public's coming in. They're coming in hard. And really, this is exactly what's supposed to happen, right? Public buys the tops. Institutions buy the bottoms. So, be forewarned. Anyway, point of the matter here is I like sort of surfing through here. Just sort of get an idea of what's going on in the space from a news perspective. Who's sort of driving things. I don't see... where is the crazy, and I don't even know. I'd probably get in trouble showing this kind of stuff on the screen. So, yeah, this is this 2.0 expectations. I don't know if there's actually an official launch date. So that's kind of interesting. I'm not commenting on any of these people's personal commentary or anything, so please don't infer that. I'm just sort of surfing away here. In fact, I'll probably get in trouble doing that, so why don't we put that away? I also like to, I was kind of hoping, can nobody find a reference to that? I thought it was, somebody said it was the 3rd or the 4th. Also like to pop into here, and what I often do is I'll just, pop in and just throw together a matrix of the coins that are moving. Clearly you can see Crypto Chico's knocked the cover off the ball link call. This thing just keeps rocketing, eh? That might be actually a really good example of Amanda's penthouse kind of thing, because it's just been consolidating in that 200% parking garage extension. Might be getting ready for another leg higher. So, just to get you a feel, and actually this is a really great commentary about the stock market. On Friday I was putting tweets out to that effect, where you just had 3 stocks were green, and then the whole rest of the market was red. So, and it just happened to be Apple, Amazon, and what was the other one? Facebook, I think it was. So, like if I was going to be surfing for ideas, I might just pull up sort of like a leaderboard list. It's a cool site. What's it called? Coin360.com, right? You could pull that up, in one of these sort of like 8-chart matrix kind of things that I do. Sometimes it's worth it just to throw down a couple bucks, and just, have like a matrix built like this. These happen to be names from previous shows I just haven't gotten rid of that we were watching, and they're just sort of doing their thing. Actually, somebody asked about BSV a few episodes ago, and we drew on some horizontal support and resistance levels, and interesting how she ran up right into all of these horizontal support and resistance levels and is now getting whacked back down. So what a fantastic analogy of that. I seem to remember somebody was asking about it like in here. We're kind of like, well, it looks like it's caught in a range. And really good. So I like to sometimes just keep, your guys' requests for me to... There's that link. Hey, check that out. So, and I had a really... Oh, yeah, here it is. So, what are we going to do here? Chico, where are you taking us next? Are we heading up to Chico's penthouse up here? I thought this is so cool. So this is a great analogy. Try and sneak yourself in at the bottom of one of these things, weekly W's, all that crap. Try and sell half when it doubles in price, and now it's just fun. Where the hell are they going to take this thing? Who knows? So I don't know whether, to me, honestly, just looking at this, I think it's still a little bit premature for me to be looking for a bottom. I like one low, two lows. Ideally, I'd love to get a nice third low in here, and then, that looks like a bot setup unto itself. So, kind of cool. Anyway, it's fun. I heard that, what was the one that he was touting recently? There was one that he was touting recently that's taking off. And that's, I think, what do they call them? Like influencers? That could be one of your sort of... one of your screening criteria. 3 reasons for a trade. Crypto Chico's got to give this thing the thumbs up. It's fine by me. All I care is that they're unrelated, so don't go Chico Crypto's got to give it the thumbs up, Crypto's got to give it the thumbs up, and Da Vinci's got to give it the thumbs up. That would all be sort of like the same the analyst approval. That's only one reason. Anyway, do yourself a favor. Try and learn these concepts of W's and M's, man. It sure makes framing taking a risk in the market a hell of a lot easier. What are you guys saying over there? Facebook, Amazon, Apple. Yeah, those 3 stocks. It was so funny. I tweeted out a tweet. The entire fucking market is red. If it wasn't for them, the Dow would be down like, 1,000, 2,000 points or whatever. Nope, Dow's up on the day. Oh, screwy world. Fun. What's fun been doing? I bet you that might be a fun exercise. Let's go look at fun. The only, to be honest with you, and it's kind of got me a little bit sort of hesitant to play in this space anymore, is I'm just not impressed with the power that these, what do you want to price it against? Fun versus what? Bitcoin? A Bitcoin! There's fun versus Bitcoin. I really don't like the power that these individual exchanges have over trading these silly things. So, kind of lost my oomph. I'm having way more fun in the stock market. Like, for whatever it's worth, I put out a tweet. Names like, you could buy Ethereum here, and this is versus Bitcoin, so it's a little bit different. But like ETH, USD. You can buy the Ethereum here, and awesome. Hell, David Eisner, one of our marketing guys, and level 3 official OGer, he's telling me he tripled his money off his buy off the bottom here. Oh, awesome. I love it. You could have bought this W here and look at this as like a midpoint. Hey, I'm going to shoot for targets up top. Okay, cool. Nothing wrong with that. A weird sort of esoteric way I'm playing this market is, remember, I'm an old stock market guy, and it's so funny because the guy who runs this company is actually the guy who ran one of the silver deals that I did back in the early 2000s. It's so ironic. The more things change, the more they stay exactly the same. And this company is an Ethereum miner. They rolled the stock back forever ago. And actually, he's done pretty good keeping his nose clean. Hasn't got himself into any financial problems. There's the stock rollback there. Shares for debt, options to directors. You tell me. Is this stock ready to go? It's an Ethereum miner. Are they going to see improving profit margins? I'd say so. So I'm like super, super bullish of this little guy here. And you know, like I've got ones that are like blockchain conglomerates. I don't know. They own a whole bunch of different. What the hell is that symbol? BITK, I think it is. And look at this chart. You tell me, is this thing getting ready to go? What do you think's going to happen tomorrow morning? So, you know, same things. VCIM rolled stock back. I think we loaded up down in here. Already got half on a double. And, you know, I mean, look at these things. That thing's just, it's ready to go. So that's primarily how I'm actually playing this cycle. But, you know, we've had lots of fun on the community. Lots of people are trading. Of course, Julian's having a fun old time trading. I do, you know, sort of getting back, not quite sure how I got off on that tangent. I was going to show you. Oh, somebody wanted me to look at fun. Did you tell me fun versus what? Hello, everyone. 4669. I mean, yeah. Speed. I love Joshua's spirit. Hey, Joshua, did you see the cool image that Kevin made for you? Stuart Smalley? I thought it was perfect. It's totally awesome. I think Kavarkinator's here today. Totally awesome. Okay, back to the story. Speaking of 4.669s, eh? And actually, I had already done up all pretty charts, so I'm not going to go over there. Let's go back over here. So I couldn't find that damn ETH-ness. If somebody can find that ETH-ness, I'd really appreciate it. Fun versus fun? I don't know what the heck that is. Oh, okay, I'll go back off on this tangent again. Fun. Where the hell is that? Fun. Fun? I don't see fun. Cryptocurrencies. Fun. Well, we'll do versus Bitcoin. Just keep it simple. Is there any reasonable exchange? You over on Bitfinex? Binance? I guess we'll do Binance. It's probably the easiest. Let's see what we got here. It's an acceptable weekly level, no doubt about it. The only problem I have, like I was saying this earlier, you know, with all these Trex calls and all that kind of crap, you just don't know whether these coins are actually going to survive on these exchanges. If I saw a nice like bulletproof setup, you know, if like you saw a nice little W come in here and divs were all over the place, well, I'd be okay, fine, let's trade this. But I don't have a hell of a lot of confidence in these super junior ones. And it's not really so much, you know, well, I mean, it is, I suppose, a function of whether the name's actually a piece of shit or not. But, you know, there's this big variable with this crazy exchanges. And so it does have me sort of leery about getting too excited about loading up on a lot of the little crappy ones again. You know, if we start getting into a rip-roaring bull and things are rocking and rolling again, okay, you know, maybe we start playing in that space. But, you know, I'm just leery. Every single of these little ones, I just sort of go, you know what, let's just, you know, show me a big fat weekly W. Show me some really good volume, that kind of thing. Does it make sense, though, that, hey, you know, Brian, you're a lazy old chicken shit old timer, and I'm just going to trade circles around you while you wait for all that, what do we call that, that information risk to be taken out of price, and I'm just going to zip in and double my money or triple my money while you're waiting on the sidelines, old man? Yeah, I mean, it happens all the fucking time. So this little ADT, which I thought it was hilarious. I mean, the definition of piece of shit, eh? I mean, where are we here? 2 sats, 3 sats. Could you be sitting on some fat stacks of sats right now? Free sats right now? Good, sure. You could. I mean, the W's are there. All the indicators and shit were there. It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just me in my old age. I'm getting a little leery of this. I will tell you, and this is what I told Colin. Colin works over on Hex. Hero Exchange? Hex? Something like that. I always mix up the two. It's either Hero or Hex. Somebody correct me. Does a really, really good job of analysis. And actually, I heard that he got like a front page commentary and analysis on TradingView, this place. So congratulations, Colin. And I think he's a fabulous guy. Great spirit. Perfect Canadian. I'm a terrible Canadian. He's an absolutely perfect textbook Canadian. He's a grade school gym teacher. I mean, talk about, being the man. And I was joking because he's going to have to retire from that. And I was joking that all the ladies in the teacher's lounge, they're all shedding a tear. Anyway, he's killing it. And HXRO, thank you, Daniel. And he does actually have a YouTube feed. And I noticed TRIers. I think he posted just about market close on Friday, getting the kids ready for the weekend. And he's been having a lot of fun. So hats off to Colin. Super, super excited for his future. I suggested to him, and I think he's going to do very, very well in this space, along with a lot of TRIers who are just so into crypto. Keep your ear to the ground. What's the next sort of, Ethereum obviously is doing its thing. And I actually think, like I said, Ethereum's at the stage that I think Bitcoin was at last cycle. Bitcoin now, ironically enough, is at the stage where it can go parabolic, it's just going to piss the gold bugs off to no end. But I definitely, I think Bitcoin is like kind of, it seems to me it's almost like a no-brainer that we're zipping up into 16, 17, 18,000 kind of area here, especially into this election. Is it going to be a straight line? I doubt it. There very rarely ever are straight lines. The only problem I have with this image right here is if we actually divide this by M2 and this crazy idea, what's really going on with money supply, I noticed that actually on an M2 diluted basis, we haven't gone through these highs yet. So just be careful, everyone. This feels very, very trappy to me. I mean, and it's not just Bitcoin. It's the whole fucking capitalist market. Like somebody, I put out a generic tweet maybe the middle of last week where I was like, the worst part about capitalism is nobody gives you a heads up that the crash is about to happen, right? I mean, nobody tells you. So, especially if you're going to be buying options, I think it's a really good idea to buy just tons and tons and tons of time. But you never really want to go just shoot your all wide. If you're like thinking, I want to build a position on the short side, I can feel that, the public is very long. Do you think the public right now is long or short? Me, personally, I think the public's bags are getting really heavy. There you go, Jeff. Somebody finally. Testnet to launch on the 4th of August. Thank you, Jeff. And Jeff, if you happen to have a link handy, can you post that in there so I can make reference to that? I mean, I get the impression that the public, like if you were going to sort of tilt, I love to show, I don't know where the hell I have it though. I think I have it on the website. Are you guys enjoying this or am I just rambling? I don't want to get lots of downvotes. I see more downvotes coming in here. Am I just wasting your time? Jeff delivers. Yeah, damn straight. Who is this Jeff guy? Thank you, Jeff. Cheryl says she's enjoying it. How'd you do with the level 1 program, Cheryl? Did you enjoy that? You're about ready to head into exam hell here. So the good part about it is open book. If you just take really good notes and just be really organized, you should just fly through the exam. It's not really designed to fail you. It's just designed to see if you actually paid attention. Okay, back to the regular scheduled program. Best show on YouTube, right on. Well, Daniel, Mr. Hoagland wouldn't appreciate that. Maybe second best. Every morning, Daniel's right there. As soon as Hoag hits the start button, bang, Daniel's like right there. It's so cool. Awesome. Awesome possum. So I'm just a little bit leery about believing that this is a Head and Shoulders. There's also a problem here with volume. Volume here doesn't look right. If we really want a Head and Shoulders pattern, this is a little bit of a different conversation. I had this conversation with somebody this morning on the site. So if anything, this isn't a bad piece to talk a little bit about. So you notice here when we dumped into this level, massive spike in volume. That's actually not good. If this was indeed a Head and Shoulders pattern, the definition here is actually what we want to see is we want to see divergence head into the head, i.e. this volume. If you'd seen this volume was like really light and lower than this selling volume, then that would have been a huge clue that this was a Head and Shoulders pattern. I tried to show that, and I thought it was kind of interesting that when you go and you just Google, but I don't know where the hell I put it. Who was it that was PMing me this morning about this? Where did we talk about that? Is that a level 2 class? Can't remember where it was. If you are here... Oh, jeez. Where the hell did I put that? Maybe it was in the level 3 class? I totally remember. If that person who was chatting with me about Heads and Shoulders is here, I can never figure out how to work this darn rocket chat. It drives me crazy. Yes, and Sebastian, if you're watching this too later on, remember that option bid and offer wall? 3,000 was the bottom, 12,000 was the top. If you could find that data sheet that we were sharing there a few months ago about that, man, I'd love that. So Sebastian, if you're watching this later on, I would give you hugs and kisses if you could find that for me. Oh, darn, I can't find where that was. I can't remember what lounge it was in. Oh, fudge. Anyway, really, it was kind of fun. I mean, you know, the irony of it all is it isn't really that difficult. I just showed them... Oh, somebody just PM'd me. What happened here? Is this person? Kiran. What does Kiran want to say? Nope. Kiran's just making fun of me. All right, well, I tried. But I think I did shave it over here, but I don't know whether this works. You know this new replacement for Jing? Is there any way you can find your history of the captures that you did? Does anybody know off the top of their head? Oh, this is professional. This would be like, could you imagine like watching like NBC News with Tom Brokaw, and halfway through he goes, "Hey, does anybody know how this microphone works? I keep getting a lot of feedback on it." Hey, Jeff, score! Way to go, Jeff. Oh, you're the man. All right, so Jeff just shared this link, so at least now we can be official. Ethereum 2.0 finals testnet to launch on August 4th. So I think this is the fundamental event that the market is rallying into. So thank you, Jeff. Double score bonus points for you. Man, I should give you a free month of Sjord's stock screener engine for that. Man, when he gets that up and running, it's looking so pretty too. I don't know, all the site people. Man, I'm on like 20 different directions here today. But the screeners are starting to get really nicely populated. So things are looking really interesting. So this isn't quite ready to talk about with the public just yet. So we'll put that away for now. Okay. Where was I? Oh yeah, the head and shoulder. Oh, here we go. So I even did it right here. Notice, and I find this amusing. These guys all put heads and shoulders as. Oh, here's a really good one. Right. So actually, somebody, and I think the person I was talking to earlier said, it's kind of funny that people go on like social media and all this kind of crap trying to teach her how to trade. This person here in particular, like, oh yeah, you've drawn this very well, but you've actually missed the most important point of what a head and shoulders is, and that is that this push to new highs is not real. Why? Because there's no buyers that are actually buying. You notice the volume is falling off. That's the definition of a valid head and shoulders, where you get this divergence. Then, of course, price starts to collapse and all the volume comes in. And then this one that I was showing, another good example. Market moves to new lows, but notice the volume is lower than here. Again, divergence. So then the market sniffs that divergence out and starts to head the other direction. So, and actually this one here is probably the best. So you can see it. Nice, powerful uptrend. This is this whole conversation about volume impetus, right? So market's moving higher, and here you notice the market moves to new highs, but you notice the volume does not move to new highs. That's the key with heads and shoulders. So anybody who asked me this morning, really, really good. Here's another really good one. So market moves to new highs to make the head, but the volume does not support that move to new highs. You can do exactly the same. Because really, what's going on here, and this is the volume impetus conversation, any level oneers and, of course, site alumni and stuff. What we want to see, if this is really a bull, is you want to see more buyers. More buyers. Was that you, Ewald, who asked that on the site? Well, what do you say there? How do you determine divergence in volume? Is it on the red volume bars if price is emming? Yeah, I mean, what you should do, and it's just the simplest thing to do, it's not rocket science, is you just go on here, and I don't even know if this is even set up correctly, but the volume bars, you want to set them up to basically match, oh yeah, so you can see. What you want to do is you want to set up the bars to match, what did volume do relative to the previous close. Sometimes you can get candles that print, like you get a big red candle, but actually it's an up day. So you don't want like an up day that prints a red candle to show you red selling bars on the volume. But the point here that we were trying to make was, I suppose, well, this isn't the best example here, but thinking about this being an inverted head and shoulders, notice the dump here was on hugely violent volume. So I don't think we can call this head and shoulders. And then, like I said earlier, I'm a bit suspect about this. It doesn't smell right? Like I said, M2, we go there. The head and shoulders kind of disappears. So that's my 2 cents there, for whatever it's worth. I think the current bid's about 0.0000000000001 pennies, not even satoshis. Nobody will bid fucking satoshis for me. That's rich. It would be like doges. If there was like, I thought it was so funny. We had one altcoin that was like 1 sat. And so we were like, how the hell is this thing going to trade? And Shane showed us over on YoBit, it trades versus Doge. And one sat versus Doge is like, 1,500, 2,000 points. They had a huge trading range. Anyway, sorry, off topic. All right, so I don't even know. I don't know whether I would feel comfortable about drawing a bot off of that huge level. It's just too big. You know what the next line is. Might be able to do one off of there. I think actually this is the one that we were sort of following on the site recently. And, if we go clone, coming up into there. And I think also, too, we were saying, and this is even versus M2. So I don't know whether this is giving a little bit more realistic look at price action. Tough to say. So we also were doing things like trend lines. So, through this period, I was very skeptical. While we were doing A, B, C, Ds, I was looking for lower lows. Then you notice we start breaking the trend line. Our rule at TRI is we actually want to see a full W on the other side of this trend line. So even for an old curmudgeon like me, I wouldn't feel comfortable with taking this W. And you notice on the other side of trend line, down, up, down, breakout. Hello. So this is what we call an LJ setup. Named after one of our alumni. Actually, I got a nice message from her recently, so I think she's doing okay. I hope she's trading her setup because, man, this setup is damn powerful. And really, just sort of the knee-jerk, simple pimple sort of approach is just, I'm going to take profits at twice the amount of risk I'm going to take and just live with the results. And I remember as we were going through this, I was like, well, the LJ is fired. I mean, it's there, because keep in mind, we talked for a few days. I do the daily brief videos, and it's like, well, the LJ is working. The LJ, whoa, hello, the LJ is working. And interesting how the market went right up to this level, because in essence, this is where I would reckon that LJers, it's probably in their best interest to take profits. Just keep booking these 2-to-1s. Just keep owning it. Even if you're right only like 60% of the time, a little bit above 50s. I'm doing okay. You make great money. You really do. I mean, just do the math, right? Sit down and just do the math. I got $10 to work with. 2-to-1 risk reward. 60% of the time, what's my annual rate of return? It's pretty simple. Maybe give yourself like 20 trades, 30 trades. So it's maybe like 1 or 2 trades a month. Not really pressing it. Anyway, so this is a pretty simple setup. What's also interesting about this too, I was very skeptical about the volume here. And then, really the volume came in to really validate here, which was just so late for me. I would have much preferred to see a nice bottom come in. And actually, if you look at the Ethereum volume, actually, Litecoin volume just looks perfect. But anyway, point of the matter here, volume didn't really cooperate with me very well. Having said that, I mean, trade's there. I think I was talking, in the videos going, well, I'm going to be watching how market acts. I remember candle body highs and all that kind of crap. I said, I'm going to be watching how the market acts here, and I might just go buy a put. And the market just blew right through there. So it's clearly like, fuck you, Brian. We're not interested. So if anything, this is one good reason why I don't like to just hit levels blindly. I like to let the market come into levels. This was an interesting one because I think there was a gap that was level. I can't remember exactly, but anyway. Then I would have liked to have seen divergence clearly on the big volume breakout. No divergence there. Momentum indicators, they were all pointing super up, so no divergence there. And of course, no structure at all. So blasted right into LJ targets. Way to go, all you LJers. Pretty straightforward. One guy actually taught me. What would I say taught? Well, I would say he sort of refamiliarized me to this setup. I hadn't been using trend lines in a few years. Back in 2015. Nico, sure hope you're doing well around the world. He's a very, very smart young man. Sure, he's made many fortunes. In fact, I think he's in Thailand. Should touch base with Julian. Anyway, we originally called the setup after him and his favorite superhero. We used to call it the Ron Jeremy setup, but politically correct probably didn't go so well. Especially, and as TRI sort of grew up, we had to. Okay, we can't call setups after porn stars. It just doesn't work. So, change the name. Basically, the same premise. I mean, nothing's really changed here. So, LJs we call them now. Also, too, this is a really great analogy of what I like to try and do, and that's I learned the bot setup, and I learned it, decade and a half or so ago. And I just found when I was prop trading, it's really, I'm an ENFJ type personality, which means that I really like a lot of structure to my trading. So things like bot setups work really well for my personality type. And actually what I really like to do is see if I can, load up the setup, see if all the lows are in place. All right, well, if this 25 level is tripped up, then I'm going to buy. And in this particular case, do what I call a front run, where you buy that W with the anticipation that this level gets hit, which it did. So the bot's alive, and now you're long from here, and if we move up to move stop to scratch and then it craps out, well, at least you take a little bit of money from the trade. In this particular case, zoom all the way up to move stop to trailing. So at this point, we sort of talked about, moving stops, and I think, the chart that we put out on the site, and talk about in the daily briefs and stuff was this one. So, interestingly enough, right, the default move stop to trailing, then you can see as higher highs and higher lows are established. I don't know whether you would add enough to justify moving the stop there, but absolutely on the big fuck you here, you should have been stopped out on this. Where exactly you got stopped out, I don't know, but nobody has any excuses for losing any money on any of this. As it stands right now, again, a little bit leery. We have a rule at TRI that just simply says that if we see confirmed bearish divergence on things like the 4-hour charts, we just have a rule. We gotta cool our jets. And actually, this was a really good analogy of waiting for divergence to confirm itself. So, we woke up this morning, through New York kill zone. This is this 4-hour candle. This thing was sort of waffling around here, but the candle hadn't finished. And it's really dangerous to assume that this is going to be a divergence if the candle hasn't finished. So we had to wait for the candle to finish. Then beep, candle finishes, bang, confirmed. So, long and short of it here, if you're a bull, you better cool your jets. So that's sort of what I'm thinking right now. And also, too, this has come in on the RSI as well. Beautiful divergence. Just massively ugly, in-your-face divergence. As well, we actually had a really good example of volume divergence there on the push to new highs. And then a great example of the bears waking up. Roar. Also, gee whiz, our overbought oversold indicator was officially overbought, and what I call stupid. So put it all together, ironically now, if we can actually start thinking about hunting short setups, we got Willie Stupid, we got confirmed bearish divergence. Now what we need to see is a big old fat M come in on price. So you can see, and actually fantastic material for all the level 1ers. You just went through the program, drawing it off of this not so spike low, which looks to me like a nice bottom end of a range. If I just do a simple fib from the high back to the low, notice there's 38.2. And we have a simple rule. This is what we call the first stop target. And you don't know whether this is stillable, i.e. we do something like that and then start working our way higher, which is completely realistic, or whether this has turned into an actual top. And I wonder, considering this run up here, I personally think has nothing to do with Bitcoin. It has everything to do with Ethereum. So is there, I've asked this before and nobody can answer. What's the fundamental driver for driving Bitcoin right now? I don't think there is one. I think this is all about Ethereum. Anyway, that's here nor there. So maybe instead of this being a bull continuation, maybe what this is something like, a head and shoulders top. Remember we said, what's the tell for head and shoulders? Well, the tell is lower volume. Can you see the divergence? Whoever asked this question, man, this is perfect for you today. This is absolutely textbook. I can't even remember who the hell asked me the damn question. You get like a total tutorial here. Well, if it's mining cost, doot, wow, this is terrible. I don't know whether you know, but it does not cost $11,259 to mine one Bitcoin. That's for show. Anyway, so really good example of divergence. And remember, it's not Bitcoin that's driving this bus. It's Ethereum right now. So be careful here, folks. You know what I find fascinating? People were busting my chops about doing these bow ties and stuff like this down the road. But how ironic. That low, that low, that low, that high, that high, that high. Is this our head? And wouldn't it be cool if we rallied right back up and failed on the underside kiss of this and dumped back down to this bow tie level? Sounds perfectly logical to me. So, point of the matter here is all our indicators, of course, are screaming divergence. Whether it be, MACD, or whether it be a volume, or whether it be RSI, there is major problem here. Fascinating too. What a great analogy of this. You ready for it? Cover your ears. Here it comes. Do I dare? Fuck him up! And I think you have to say it like an SS officer, like a Gestapo, right? I think that's how you have to say this. And I mean, what's so funny about this too is, and I even put like tweets about it being snarky and stuff, but man, this is incredible how this W down here way back in March when the fucking sky was falling, and there's that goddamn Falcon Bomb level right there, 11,542. And it was almost like this thing, it had to hit this. It had to. I have to hit this. I don't have any choice. And now it's been hit. Merry Christmas. Way to go. You want to see even more stunning? Look at Ethereum. This is crazy. So Ethereum had two Falcon Bomb levels here. One here and one here. And this was freaky, right? This is hey, there's a picture of him. Thank you, Daniel. He's such a handsome gentleman too. Isn't he dreamy? He's like a 1970s rock star. Just dreamy. Also pretty big head too, right? Anyway, much respect, sir. Thank you for your mathematics. and trying to help us figure out the universe here. I swear, these shows, they're crazy, eh? Brian's such a nut. Anyway, Mr. Falkenbaum, bang, 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 bang. And what I thought was so cool was this is such a great analogy of who could tell me? Let's see. It's quiz time. It's the quiz time. No, I got a better song than that. It's TRI's quiz time. You better get off your ass. Brian's gonna ask you a question. Are you paying attention? It's TRI quiz time. No, I don't know. Somebody get a soundbite of that. What do we call 1.618? Is that kind of an important number in the world of mathematics? And if you don't know this would be good little trivia. Hey, I never get any value out of this goddamn crap this guy makes me want to watch. Excellent! Jack got it. Way to go, Jack. Come on, Canadian. That's great. We're going to call it, mind you, what would we used to call the fucking bum? We called it, my neighbor's going to be so angry at me. She's got dogs too, so I'm sure every time I do that, the dog's probably like, huh, what? Anyway, I don't think it's a surprise why we stopped where we did. I mean, that is quite shocking. As well too, and learn this shit, people. And you see A off of this low, A, B. So sort of thinking that move is the first part. And then remember we went through this crazy consolidation. Brian at this point was doing Faugenbaums to the downside and going, holy shit, this looks like a nightmare. And fascinating how the market just stopped and just said, nah, I don't think so, Brian. No, I don't think so. And you're wrong. So in this kind of case, I think it's a good idea to do levels going both directions. You don't know what's going to happen in this crazy world. You just don't know. So in this particular case, nope, the bulls won. So where should we be thinking upsides? So this consolidation range, Mr. Faugenbaum suggests that this is where the energy that's built up in this consolidation, it will have exhausted itself at these levels. And that's exactly what I saw happen last night. Perfect. Absolutely textbook example of exhaustion. Perfect. In fact, it was so good, it was actually stunningly cliche. So, maybe why don't we finish off with just a little fun illustration. Something that we cover, well, I guess in the level 3 program, but also too to a certain degree in the level 2 program. This was such a great illustration of the market. Remember, all those Faugenbaum levels and all that kind of stuff, they were obvious. Higher time frame players, all the smart people in this world, those guys with those big fucking heads, they all know these levels. Of course, they don't ever tell the public any of this shit. Took me forever to figure out what the hell they meant, because I've heard people talk, I trade chaos levels, I trade chaos, but they never tell you what it is. Only stupid Brian would just, be an open book. Here, this is how you do it, guys. What do you think? Is this kind of cool? I'm sure half of those downvotes I get are by people going, fuck, why are you telling all these people all these goddamn secrets? It wouldn't surprise me. All right, so thinking about all that Faugenbaum stuff up here, when you look, and this is a really, really good analogy of the market likes to move towards size. You look at the order book here. Does something look missing from this picture? Hint, hint, hint. Read the damn green box. Doesn't something look wrong here? Where the hell are the buyers? Brian is of the people. Full disclosure, and I love this about myself. I died March 18th, 2011. So all of the time on the other side of this is free time. So if I can be of the people, I mean, I live a very frugal life. I don't ask for money. I don't need money. I've got enough that I don't need to worry about shilling anything. It's funny, level 1 program, they're graduating today, and I'm kind of trying to talk these people out of moving on to the level 2. Well, if you want to take some time and just think about it, no problem, maybe this isn't for you. Oh, I'm such a weirdo. So yeah, I mean, things like the reload zone. I'm sure Mr. Mountain Man did not appreciate me telling the world about his levels. Things like the line in the sand and the 88.6s and like volume profile. Basically, every day I go out and tell everybody Hoag's trade setup. I'm sure he doesn't appreciate that. But anyway, back to our story here. Is something missing from this picture? Maybe you don't understand what it is you're even looking at. This is a cool chart, and it's actually off of their free site. So it's totally awesome, the value that they give you for free. You don't even need to subscribe. 1 + 1 = 3. Love it. Way to go, Tensor Charts. Their site's called tensorcharts.com. And really what they're showing you here is obviously price action, and they're showing you their order book. Right? What is the size? Where are the big whales working orders? Remember, and actually, I don't know whether you guys in the public even understand this. Does the public place orders to buy at levels? You'd be surprised at the answer. Probably you guys watching these videos and actually going, oh, well, maybe I'll place my buy order at a level instead of just market buying. That might be a huge evolutionary step for you, and you don't even realize it. The public, they see something, they see the price, and they just say, buy it, right? That's what they do. They see the market do something, and they don't like it, and they say, sell it. That's just what they do. So technically what you're seeing on this image is you're seeing the institutional players. The greater the thickness, the greater the density, the more orders. Does that make sense? If the lines are above the price, then that means that they are sell orders. If they are below the price, then that means they are buy orders. Does that make sense? Hit the buy button. Buy, buy, buy. Anybody? I don't know. So, again, I'll ask you here. When you look at this image, and, disregard over here, because this is after the fact. But, if you can somehow, right, where my mouse is, obviously I can put my hand over the screen, but I can't put my hand over YouTube. But look everything this way, this direction, right, going this way. Does something not look wrong about this image? Even you guys in the hangout here. Doesn't it seem kind of tilted to one side? The irony of it all, there are no buy orders. Where the fuck are the buy orders? There are none. Don't any of you see this? I see lots and lots of sell orders, and it looks like all of those sell orders are getting filled, but I don't see any buy orders. Do you people see this? The irony of it all is that they actually, there's an old adage in the market, and this is why I don't like people starting their trading journey looking at the DOM. Because the DOM itself is extremely misleading. You have to understand the market wants to do business. So the market will move towards size. So does it make sense why the market kept going higher here? If I was a businessman and I said, all right, here's the marketplace. Oh boy, there's a whole bunch of people that want to sell a little bit higher than where we are now. There's no buyers. Which way am I going to take the market? And that's a hard thing for most new people to trading to learn. In fact, I don't even really want to introduce this kind of concept to level oneers because it's just too beyond you. And that's okay. You know, by the time we get to the level 3, we can have serious conversations about this and the information that's telling you. But this was just such a stunning image that literally you see they kept taking the market up to size. And more business was getting done. But something changed right up here. First off, well, there doesn't seem to be anybody who really wants to do any business up here. That's got to be a tell. Uh-oh. And then what you notice is on the rally, remember I said this earlier, volume divergence, right? And that head and shoulders kind of concept. The buyers were getting less and less. And then finally here, they couldn't even match the buying power here. And that, remember, market's up above. Market sniffs that out, and it's tough to see right here. Go and pull up the tweet if you want, and really zoom in here. You can see that everything just stopped right here, and that was right there. So no more business to be done up top. Buyers are showing exhaustion, and the sellers sniffed that out and just drove them into the ground. And the problem here is, where's the floor? Well, where's the floor is they're going to take the market to wherever there's buyers. And notice they found some buyers in here. Ding, ding, ding. They all got filled. Found some buyers in here. Ding, ding, ding. They got filled. Found some buyers down in here. Ding, ding, ding. They got filled. I don't even know if these orders are still there or not. But on other exchanges, there probably was business. But what do you think was actually the most business, which ironically enough isn't that much volume? But what do you think the most volume and business was through this event here? Was it actually people stepping up and investing in Bitcoins, or people saying, you know what, I've made a solid investment decision, I want to get out of Bitcoins? What was this? 2 words. First word starts with an S. Second word starts with an R. No, I don't think so. I don't think it was panic selling. I think this was a stop run. So, you know, you could go to the various different exchanges and find out what the 10x, the 20x, the 50x, the 100x leverage margin levels are. And my hunch is ding, 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 ding. They just went after the stops and just cleaned out all the weak hands through this whole bull run. How can you tell where the public is acting? This is such a cool tool that these guys have. I'd love to get Sjord to the point where he can rebuild this. It's going to take a lot of work, and this is an incredibly powerful tool that they have here. But in essence, these green and red balls represent market orders. Remember, we said institutions do not market, buy, or sell. They work their orders at their levels. This here is a measure of market buy orders instead of limit buy orders getting filled. So can you see all of the just solid, and it was through here, a solid. But then notice, hey, something's trailing off here. But nonetheless, still solid. This is basically the public market buying. That's got to be a major warning sign to you, right? Don't go and market buy, wait for the puke out. Don't go and market buy, wait for the puke out. Don't go and market buy, wait for the puke out. And this is what you really want to see, right? You want to see the public puking out and market selling. Dump it, sell it, get rid of it, get me out. And interestingly enough, I think what happened here overnight, public, of course, FOMO buys. public sees this, and at this point, they're almost in shell shock. You can see the public is kind of sitting there going, oh no, it's still good, it's still good, it's still good. Then we had the dead cat bounce, and I think the public kind of, little bit of FOMO buying, but I think the public was kind of like, okay, well, we got a bit of our bounce. Okay, well, we're starting to roll over. Okay, let's start, getting out of these positions here. And keep in mind, that's at a loss, right? So if you did like an average buys of up here, it's probably somewhere up in this area, and they got them to start puking out here. Then the market started breaking down, and look at the red balls all coming to life here. This is in essence the people that bought through this and all of these green balls. This is their acquiescing. They're just puking out. This is what we call puking out. And notice the interesting thing is, go look at price since the puke out event. I think we're actually like starting to climb our way back higher. So a really good analogy, great stuff about like interpreting the order book, understanding what it is that you're reading and understanding why markets move towards size, understanding volume impetus and how you can see the divergence start to come in. And then when the buyers were exhausted and the order book was cleaned out, the bears stomped. And then finally, great example, of course, the public coming in and FOMO buying the top. If you see these big green dots being printed here, put the mouse down. And then conversely, if you see big red bars, especially like this, and this is excellent, like love that. Pick the mouse up and get your fucking ass ready to go. If you're a bull, that is. So really, really great commentary on price action. And I put out a tweet this morning saying, we're having fun dissecting how did this bull look like heading into the top? Were there any tells that there was trouble? How did the bears take over? And interesting, the anatomy of watching the public FOMO buy and then the public puke out on the other side. Really great tutorial. Really good stuff. Okay, I gotta get ready for the boy. I've been blabbing away here for an hour or two, so why don't we wind this up? The only thing left is the level oneers sometime asked me to look at questions coming out of the week. I did see a question with regard to this insano nutso price spike on Binance. It's ironic that we often say that wicks and tails like to be eaten, and now we have a wick going all the way up to 100 Gs. Was this a fat finger? Was it a mistake? Was it an algorithm that went out of control? Only time will tell. Somebody just asked me to comment about it. There's not really much I can tell you unless you actually looked at what happened on the inside of Binance. They did come out with some sort of note here saying they might go and bust the trades, which often happens. I used to get some just insane fills on panic moves in the futures markets only to come back later on and they say, sorry, we busted the trade. Hate when that happens. It does happen, though, especially in the stock market when you get violent gap higher, gap lowers. Sometimes, the regulators will come out and say, well, actually the trading that you got filled on was after the halt. So we have to bust the trade. Boo, hiss, hiss, boo. It does happen. And just get used to it. It's a trader's life. So I can't really comment on the internals. It's an interesting anecdote. Because like I said, wicks and tails like to be eaten. So basically they've just told us that they're going to take Bitcoin up to 100 Gs. Only time will tell. It wouldn't surprise me. In fact, my target on Bitcoin is actually 200,000. Just like last target was 20 Gs. So, I actually like the idea that the public is going to have 100,000 in mind, and the market's probably going to shoot well beyond that. And it's in that sort of $150,000 to $200,000 that most of the public comes in and buys. And then after the crash, market comes back to, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, whatever, 80-90% haircut, and we do the whole fucking thing all over again. I mean, what is so stunning about Bitcoin is it's shockingly cliche. Um, what ends up happening with most people is that they get too enamored on the short-term picture and they can't see that bigger picture. Anyway, only time will tell. We'll see what happens. Try to put yourself into a risk-free trade. Here's a great example where you might have sold half of the position at 2-1, stop at scratch on remaining, and who knows where the hell this damn thing will go. It might just go straight up from here. You don't know. I think on balance, anybody who did take these setups, for heaven's sakes, I hope you made some money. Anybody who's yet to buy, I put out a tweet. Basically, nothing has changed here. Probably should change this back to regular so it doesn't freak you out. But nothing has really changed here. Whatever these levels are, I will be drawing reload zones. And anybody who is interested in investing in Bitcoins, the message stays exactly the same. I'm just going to keep hunting reload zones. Now, maybe the top is up here. Maybe the top is up here. Maybe this is the top. We know the top isn't lower, so that's good. But wherever it ultimately is, that's where I'm going to be looking to sort of say, all right, it is time to officially deem investments in this space conservative, lower risk. The irony of it all, though, is last year, it was like pulling teeth getting people to come in and buy Bitcoins at $2,000-$3,000, including myself. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was tough. So the irony of it all is when this thing actually does come back down into these levels, you probably will not want to buy it. Oh, no, it's going lower. It's going to zero. That's capitalism 101, eh? So go figure. Maybe we actually complete this head and shoulders, and the next reload zone is going to be off of that level. I don't know, but reload zones are reload zones. They've served me very well over the years. They keep you out of a lot of trouble. I'll tell you, if you can just make it a habit and only buy at or near lines in the sand, Kvarkinator levels, man, you save yourselves a lot of headache. Sometimes you see the market dip beyond. If it's still a bull, it'll hold the lows and then it'll turn back up. But 9 times out of 10, if this is really a bull, you often see the bottom come in right off of that 78.6. All right. I think that's about all I really wanted to say here today. I don't know. Is there something else that I should really talk about that I missed? I think we talked the shit out of... I suppose we could take a quick boo at good old Charlie. Charlie is a mystery to me because he's very quiet of late. I don't know whether he was any part of this rally. Interesting how Ethereum's event still a day or two away. We're getting some pretty wild candle action here on the corn. I mean, hell, by the time I finish this and come back from Liam, this thing might be back green again for all I know. I mean, gee whiz, this market's up and down like a horse drawers right now. My hunch is I don't really like buys on things like, the corn until these divs play themselves out. That's the message I'll be giving in my lounge. As soon as this plays itself out and it's finished, then we can start hunting longs again. But for now, I don't think there's any hurry. I do like the idea of us probing up top here into that ETH event. It's interesting how Litecoin still has this level just a bit above us. Maybe this is what actually starts carving out things like daily divergences, is working up into this level and then failing. Could be. But I definitely think that on the other side of this ETH event, be darn careful, people. Please. For Uncle Brian, like I said, 1.618. Maybe we have another pop up into 200%. Could be. You saw that link. Link did it very nicely. 1.618 up to 200%. Maybe this is what the top looks like. I don't know. You see that first one? Look how it went 1.618, not so insane candle, and then it went up a little bit higher, screwed over a lot of little early shorters that hit that and had their stop right up here. Oh, goodbye. Take your money. Thank you. And then come back down. Could be. But I definitely like the idea that, hey, here's that fundamental event. And you saw the news article. There's chaos. There's the parking garage. Interesting too. A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. We are up in areas where we're losing. How do we say it? You know, the easiest way to describe it is this market built up a whole bunch of energy, and that energy was released, and now that gas tank is running out of gas. That's the only way I really know how to describe it. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. That was kind of a crazy little adventure for the past hour or two. Falcon Bomb! Anyway, hope you get some good value out of that. You know, TRI, super fun hanging out in the lounge. Of course, stock market's opening tomorrow. What do you think all my little crypto stocks are going to do tomorrow? So get ready for the banging out doubles tweets. They're going to probably be coming fast and furious. I showed you a couple that just look ready to rocket here. I haven't done too much in the way of crypto. Actually, you know what I'm doing in crypto, believe it or not, is I'm getting ready to buy some stuff. I really like, you know, if I wanted to buy Ethereum, like that sort of thinking of similar to previous cycle. I mean, I don't know where the high is on this thing. Could be anywhere up in here. But I like Mountain Man level tags. I love that idea right now. That would be so perfect. And Grim told you guys, right? The bar that breakout, usually the right in here, is exactly where they bring the market back. So if that's the case, then probably we end up at like this 470 or something through that event. Then that would be perfect Mountain Man tag right into that checkpoint. Nice support here. That's probably like the buy of a lifetime on Ethereum right there. Ooh, mark my words. If anything, let's keep an eye on that. My hunch is that's the level right there. So, what am I interested in buying? I really like this rep, this auger. Oh man, I really like the look of this. Look at this beautiful bottom. You can see it dip down, and I had bids working down below, but I didn't get any fills, cocksuckers. I'm trying to do it over here. Look at this chart. This is Kavarkanator, right? So this is 78.6, original double bottom. Look at the buying interest coming in here. And I got my bids right down in here. So anybody wants to sell me, sell this thing down into my bids, please. Really like the look of him. Also, too, I love the look of Dash. Why does everybody hate Dash right now? It doesn't make any sense. I think I looked at Dash and I went, oh, I want, gimme. So I'm trying to get some Dash. Mrs. Dash. I mean, I guess Amanda's gone, but, man, I was surprised. Look at that. I mean, basically, right, and this is Binance, so it's probably not the best chart, but look at that, eh? And this used to be one of the leaders last cycle. I mean, are they really toast? Is it over? I don't know. But, wow, what a level. You heard Brian squawking about 78.6s there earlier. So I'm seeing if I can try and pick some of this up down in here. So I am trying to do a little bit of buying in crypto. It's interesting to see the amount of green on the screen, considering Bitcoin's supposed to be taken over. Fun little rallies. I mean, gee whiz, look at that rally right off the bottom. So get out there and have some fun. Don't take no wooden nickels, though. I noticed Cripple, he jumped up here. Yeah, look at that. I mean, you can't tell me there aren't W's. So, and I don't know. If Cripple gets its act together, has it got any room to move back up here? Thought I saw there was a news article that financial services industry is starting to actually build applications using Cripple now. So there you go. All right, I think I'll probably leave it at that. Good luck for everybody on final exams. Kiran actually did such a cute little hello to the level 1ers here today, so I'd love to see all you level 1ers move on. Level 2ers, get ready for your exam, and of course, come to Papa. All you level 2ers graduate, and come on, and let's all hang out together, and I can get to know you personally in level 3. Okay, everybody, have yourselves a great rest of your day. PMA for the win. All the best. And bye for now.